So, here's another video of a total disappointment. Um, what's this girl called? Her video is titled Carnivore Dinners, and she goes by um, Ava J. I'll just show you, because why the fuck not? That's her. Um, the way that she's talking is uh, in the future, I think that she'll be quite ashamed of herself for this video, actually, when I'm looking at how she's behaving. It's just, it's really sad. She absolutely is completely uh, deluded and invested into a narcissistic point of view. I mean, this video that she did is just, it's just narcissism. That's all it is. So check this out.
So right here, I have something really special today. One of my friends gave me the best thing ever, my favorite cut of meat, venison. I love venison with a passion. I seasoned it with a bunch of cumin, and I'm gonna just try to savor every bite because I don't have too much of it, being that I'm in California and all. It's hard to get around.
Her pussy probably smells like barbecue sauce.
Anyways, so how's everybody doing? I just want to say, man, I did not expect the last video to be so crazy. I just want you guys to know that my channel.
I don't know what her last video was about, but it sounds like she got fucking flamed for her bullshit. And so she's trying to do her self-righteous little retaliation video, and it's very little. What a little person this is. Or she's being little. She might not be a little person. Well, actually, she probably... Look at her.
Channel is mostly a vlog. I'm not here to offer any medical advice. It's more about an account of what I do every day, and
She's basically trying to excuse her terrible behavior. It's it's just her way of saying I don't care, and it's apathetic. It's gross. It's morally repugnant.
things that pertain to me. I'm not imposing my views onto anybody. These are just things that make me happy and help me thrive.
Slaughter, murder, rape, imprisonment. This is literally what she's saying. She's saying, these are just things that make me happy. I love to pay money to put billions, tens of billions of animals into cages for their entire lives before they're slaughtered, because that's just what makes me happy in my life.
If it resonates with you, awesome. So, let's dig in. Okay, so something I really want to talk about today, I was having a conversation with one of my guy friends, actually, and we were just talking about kind of how a lot of people nowadays seem to, be the master of the universe when it comes to just everything. Oh my gosh, this is so good.
Basically, she is, I can see clearly what she's trying to say here. She's basically saying, oh, well, so I'm just a moral degenerate because you're a vegan, right? Yeah, actually, in some way, yeah, it's completely morally degenerate, especially when you make a video like this. Yeah, it's morally degenerate, of course. Um, Not to say that, because remember, I ate meat. I used to be a meat eater. That was a lifestyle that I chose. Was I morally repugnant? Yeah, but by ignorance. by ignorance. I was just clueless to the suffering. This girl knows, and she doesn't care.
God, look how red this thing is. Anyways, so back to what I was saying. Why do people constantly have to impose themselves onto others?
While I'm watching this, I mean, she completely, in every way, just, and I don't mean this just because she has oppositional views. She looks like a cliched villain to me from some, like, I don't know, it's a James Bond movie or something. She's obviously the villain. She's playing that role, and it's it suits her because it's completely villainous what she's up to.
Don't you have enough things to worry about?
No, because I made good life choices.
Oh wait, you probably don't.
No, I don't. What's it to you?
You know, here's the thing. If you really want to make a difference in the world,
Let me guess, just shut my mouth.
I suggest you not argue with a person, but live your own way according to your own fundamental values and not.
Live your own way according to your own fundamental values. Hmm. Um, I, I wonder, um, does that apply to the tens or hundreds of billions of animals every year that are locked into cages for their entire lives, and then slaughtered brutally at the end of it? Are they supposed to also just follow this advice? Just live the way they want? I guess they could shirk right, shirk left, chew on the metal bar that will never let them out, cry to the farmers to free them from their suffering. Yeah, just live the way you want, right?
Impose yourself onto others because guess what? Ain't nobody gonna listen to you.
Impose yourself onto others. Impose your views onto others. Really? Why are you imposing? You know, it's funny that you're angry about people imposing views on you when you're imposing slaughter on innocent animals. Actually, that's not funny, but it's ironic, isn't it? You don't want to be talked to. Do you think they want to get a knife stabbed in their throat?
Especially if you want to do it in a disrespectful manner, like bashing other people or putting them down.
You know, I'm all for actually respectful civil discourse about this, but your video isn't respectful nor civil. And yeah, that's how wars happen, right? Is someone crosses the line, the other crosses the line, lines continually get crossed. But who's crossing more lines here? Who has dead animals on their plate? Who's killing and demanding that things be killed? Who's actually causing violence, suffering, rape, torture, and lifelong imprisonment of innocent, conscious creatures? Who's doing that? Who's actually responsible here for that? Because one of us is happily paying for it.
Mm-mm. And who are you? I'm just curious. What gives you the right to impose yourself onto others' beliefs, views?
What gives me the right to impose my views, beliefs onto you? What gives you the right to impose slaughter on animals? Just because it's legal? That's your excuse? Well, it's legal. In a dystopia, there's been plenty of dystopian legal things, and there are probably more to come, especially with fallacious logic like yours dominating the mainstream. Oh, there will be terrors. I guarantee you that.
For anything in life. Are you God? It's just
No, I'm an atheist.
I'm noticing that so much more around me. Everybody is like a master of the universe of some sort. Why do you
I don't know why you think you have to be a master of the universe to have a basic fundamental understanding of ethics, morality. These topics are not even complex, and everyone agrees about them except psychopaths, which you might be, I don't know. The only barrier is fallacious logic, is having a lack of logical consistency in your views. Because if you genuinely hold the view that you're bigger, stronger, faster, etc., basically might is right, and therefore you have the right and should be able to and should slaughter lower order beings, it only takes someone who defines themselves as a higher order being to do the same to you. Or, in another, as I've pointed out in another video of mine, if goblins from space come down and they are a higher order being, we are as helpless to them as these animals are to us. And they want to factory farm us, rape us, eat us, and make us into the worst, exactly what we're doing to factory farm animals. What logical defense do you have? None. You have none. You can plead to nothing. And if you add that facet, they're magical, and all they abide by is logical consistency. Who's getting fucking factory farmed, slaughtered, and imprisoned for life? How would you like that? How would you like to be in prison for your entire life? And the only respite is at the end of it, they stun you before they stab you in the throat.
you always have to be proven right? Why do you always need people to assure you that what you're doing in life is right? I feel like the people that
I don't give a fuck who thinks I'm right. I'm just doing what is right. I'm caring about conscious creatures. I'm having compassion. What are you doing? Eating a fucking steak. Eating a dead animal that was slaughtered because you paid for it. Because the demand is there. Because you're the demand. And so the supply is there.
always need to impose themselves onto others really are the unhappiest people in the world because
Ironic. Ironic. There's no greater imposition than factory farming. You're merely disconnecting your ability to have empathy when you are considering animals. You're just not connecting that. You don't understand that you're an imposition. You are an imposition on those animals. They do not want to be slaughtered. They do not want to be factory farmed. They do not want to be raped. They do not want to be imprisoned for their entire lives. And you are imposing that on them. And you are paying for other people to impose that on them. I would argue, in this case, the hitman is the lesser evil when it comes to factory farming. So where does that put you? And no, I don't give a fuck if you think I'm right. You don't, I'm sure you don't. And I don't care if anyone else thinks I'm right. I serve justice and compassion because I'm a good fucking person. That's it.
happy people, they don't need to care about what goes on in society because
I'm already happy. And that's why I'm worrying about the ones who aren't. What are you worrying about? You need to eat dead animals to be happy? I don't. You could strip my wardrobe down to a black shirt, black pants, put me on the street and feed me fucking potatoes for the rest of my life and I could be happy. What do you need to be happy? Okay? The decadence is in your position, not ours.
They're content within themselves. They have enough to worry about within themselves, and they're constantly working on the things about them, and what they believe in fundamentally through action, through hard work, through discipline, not by complaining about it or, talking crap. I'm 25 years old. I'm going to keep making mistakes. I admit that.
All right, maybe I've been a little unfair. I mean, to be honest, when I was 25, I was eating steaks. That's exactly what I was eating. I was cooking a steak every single day and garlic mashed potatoes. That was my dinner. It was delicious. I loved it. But now I understand the ethical implications of what that means. And I chose to become a better person, to actually care about what's happening in the world instead of only focusing on my tiny, narcissistic little worldview about enjoying making the best butter soaked steak that I could possibly enjoy every day, and and know that I'm eating something that would genuinely make everyone that I knew at the time jealous that I'm eating this every day. That's my normal life. And I was doing it on money that I was barely earning. But that was just ego. It was just narcissism. It was nothing pretty. And what you're doing is not pretty. And it's just, it's, I mean, I can't imagine a more ugly attitude to take. I'm sure you don't care. I'm sure you don't. I'm looking at you. I know, I can see. I'm sure you don't care.
And sometimes I'm going to lose my tact. But as long as I'm aware of it, I'll keep thriving. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's so hard to keep your cool against people that are just so negative.
Negative. Go watch some factory farming videos. Just go and watch it and tell me that's positive. Tell me what you're consuming is positive after you see that. After you look at the pain in these animals' eyes. After you see them giving up and wishing that it would all just go away. And knowing that that is their entire life. And that you're paying for that. And that it's not just that one animal, but it's 50 billion per year.
I'm learning to deal with it. I'm done with my rant. But I went to the Santa Barbara Botanical Gardens for a volunteer orientation, and I'm going to include clips after the eating show. It was so beautiful. It was clips of mostly me driving to and fro, and one view in particular that's just, guys, if you are ever stressed out or just unhappy, go out into nature, and just be one with it. I think I'm going to start volunteering there and getting my hands dirty with some soil, and just growing things, on my free time. I think that'd be really good for my spirituality, since I don't go to church or anything.
You don't have a spirituality. You're carnal. For one, I mean, you're incapable of having a spirituality by your very nature. But even if you had one, it would be degenerate. Your spirituality is degeneracy. It's carnal. You're eating dead animals. It doesn't get any lower than this, and unless you're, because you don't have to. It's not an obligation. It's a choice. And the way in which it's done is horrendous. I mean, if either you haven't seen this or you haven't been really paying attention to to these videos, have you seen nothing? Have you genuinely never looked at factory farming videos? It's horrifying. It should make your emotions inflamed. You should be upset about this. And so either you're not seeing it or you're not making that connection, or your limbic system is broken and you're a psychopath. These are the options that come up. But one thing's for sure, and that's you don't have a spirituality. And I'm not saying that because you're not a Christian. I'm a fucking atheist. I don't believe in any uh, deities or whatever. But I'm still a spiritual person. I care about that. You don't. You can't. It's beyond your abilities because of your nature. But um, yeah, just keep on making spiritual comments. I'm sure one day, one day you might actually be a meaningful person. Whatever. Okay, well, that video is longer than I wanted it to be, but so yeah, Ava J. I think that maybe I was a little harsh on you, but to be honest, this video is really stupid, and I think that in the future, uh, you'll probably find yourself ashamed about it. I could even see you taking the video down. Um, you know that the spirit, if there's anything spiritual about this video, um, well, it's spiteful, but more importantly, it's the spirit of uh, carnism, narcissism. There's nothing good spiritually here. This video is degenerate to its core. There's nothing not degenerate, and you probably know it. I mean, that's the thing is that I can sit here and tell you this, but you probably know everything I'm already telling you. Um, I think I think you'll be ashamed eventually about this video. It's really it's sad because when I look at you, I don't see a person who. Here's the thing, underneath all of this, I see a person who was hurt by a bunch of comments, and I understand that. I fucking hate trolls, particularly because a lot of them are psychopaths, and they're just trying to inflame your emotions and cause you to act crazy, basically. And that's what you did. Um, and it's come out in a really degenerate and sad way. And you might think that me judging you is uh, like I'm the master of the universe, as you put it. But I'm just telling you what you probably already know. And if you, here, I can see you're not a psychopath, actually. And I really think that you're just reacting emotionally. I don't think you're a bad person, but I think you're acting spiritually degenerate.